You know that feeling when you're absolutely certain you're alone in your home, but something just doesn't feel right? That's where my story begins. I was a second-year psychology student at Westlake University. Finals week was crushing down on me like a ton of bricks, and the campus library had become too crowded with equally stressed students. So I did what any desperate college kid would do. I locked myself in my off-campus apartment to study in peace. The place wasn't much. It's just a tiny one-bedroom in an old converted Victorian house, the kind with pipes that knocked and floorboards that creaked even when nobody was walking on them. But the rent was cheap, and that's all that mattered to a broke college student like me. It was around 2 a.m. on a Tuesday when it first happened. I was hunched over my textbooks, my third cup of coffee getting cold beside me. The apartment was dead silent. No roommates, no TV, not even the usual traffic noise from outside. Just the occasional hum of my ancient refrigerator. That's when I suddenly heard it. So faint at first, I thought it might be the neighbors or maybe just the building settling. A soft whisper, like someone exhaling a word I couldn't quite make out. I know the old building has no settling noise other than various strange noises like noise from old pipelines, heating, or floor creaking. I froze, my highlighter hovering over my notes. I held my breath and listened. Nothing. Great, I muttered to myself. Sleep deprivation is finally making me lose it. I went back to my studies, forcing myself to focus on the psychology terms swimming before my tired eyes close. But then, there it was again, a whisper, coming from somewhere inside my apartment walls. This time, I was sure I'd heard it. A voice, muffled but distinctly human, saying something that sounded like, "Help." My heart began to race. I set down my pen and slowly stood up, trying to locate the source of the sound. It seemed to be coming from the wall behind my desk, the wall that separated my apartment from the vacant unit next door. "Hello?" I called out hesitantly. Is someone there?" Silence, no sound. Then, clearer this time. "Help me." I took a step toward the wall, my pulse pounding in my ears. The voice didn't sound threatening. If anything, it sounded scared. Desperate. "Who's there?" I asked, a little louder. "Do you need help?" The whisper came again, but this time I couldn't make out the words. It was as if whoever was speaking was getting further away. Something compelled me to press my ear against the wall. The plaster felt unexpectedly cold against my skin. Ice cold. I shivered but didn't pull away. "Please," came the voice, suddenly crystal clear, as if the wall between us had vanished. "Emma, please help me!" I jerked back from the wall, my eyes wide with shock. The voice knew my name. But that wasn't what sent ice water coursing through my veins. It was my voice, my own voice, pleading from inside the wall. "Emma," it whispered again. "They won't let me out. They won't ever let me out." With trembling hands, I grabbed my phone to call someone, anyone. But as I looked at the screen, I noticed something that stopped me cold. The date on my phone wasn't right. It showed tomorrow's date, and the time, 3:33 a.m. I looked at my watch, 2:17 a.m. The whispers grew more frantic. Multiple voices now, all mine, all begging, all crying out from different points in the wall, from above me, from below, surrounding me. I backed away, bumping into my desk, sending my psychology textbook crashing to the floor. It fell open to a chapter I hadn't reached yet, about dissociative disorders and split personalities. As I stared at the book, the voices suddenly stopped. The silence that followed was somehow worse than the whispers. Then a single voice, my voice, spoke directly behind my ear. "You can't escape yourself, Emma." I whirled around. Nobody was there. But my reflection in the window, it wasn't turning with me. It was staring at me, smiling. "We're all trapped in here, Emma. And now, so are you." When my roommate returned from her boyfriend's place the next morning, she found the apartment empty. My books were still open on the desk, my coffee, still half full, my phone on the floor, the screen cracked. But the strangest thing? The walls of the apartment were completely solid, no hidden spaces, no crawl spaces, nothing unusual at all, except for the faint sound of whispering that only seemed to come when you were alone, and the voice that sometimes calls out your name when you press your ear against the wall.